So driving alignment through capacity planning, like I mentioned up top, this is one of the best activities RevOps can do to drive alignment across the entire go-to-market team. So map out a process. This is not just building a model. When I talk about a process, what are the key conversations that you need to have? All right, going to build a V1, going to get all the sales, marketing, CS, BDR leaders aligned. You agree with this assumption? No, you don't agree with this. All right, let's tweak this. All right, then let's sit down and talk with finance. Oh, the board wants to do 2, 3, and 4. Well, here you go. This is what the bottoms up looks like. This is all our historical data. Tell us where we're different. Let's have a joint conversation between finance and the go-to-market team about how do we close this gap. All right, we're going to do A, B, and C, and these are going to be our 3 bets to close this gap. All right, these are our bets. We're going to track this coming into 2023, and we're going to have a weekly meeting to look at the pipeline to see where we're tracking and off pace. So this is how you drive alignment. It's one of the best things you can do to get the entire team rallied around a number and understanding the how you're going to hit that number. All right, Massimo, we'll go to the next one. So final takeaway here, and I've alluded to this a couple times here. This is actually 2 takeaways. I should have put an S in here, but capacity planning is one of the single most important activities you can do to drive alignment across the entire organization. When I say organization, it's not just the go-to-market team, but it's the finance team plus the organization, right? Because we're all in this for the company, right? How do we get to that 2, 3, 4, 5 million, right? The bottoms up doesn't get there. Let's map out the assumptions and all get on the same page around the bets and track this on a regular basis. Second point, this will set the go-to-market team up for success because instead of forcing a top-down number down their throats, we're all tracked around, all right, this is a stretch number, but we have these 3 bets lined out that's going to allow us to get to that number, and we're going to track it on a regular basis. So if we're off pace by any chance, we'll be able to identify that and make in-quarter tweaks. That's capacity plan. I'm very passionate about it. I think it's one of the best activities you can do. If you haven't started your capacity plan for 2023, go ahead and start it now. It is critically important because it is a process, not a model. All right. Questions? Massimo.
I'm back. So guys, let's just write your question in the comment box. Thank you, Rhys, for the presentation. Super insightful. I have a couple of questions for you while we wait for other question from the audience. The first one is, have you experienced, and this is a topic we were discussing with Camila before, have you experienced a problem of silos? Personally, I've been in a bunch of companies where capacity planning was really siloed between marketing and sales, and they were not really aligning. So marketing was just making assumption based on their own number, thinking, oh, we need to get to X number of leads, while sales had completely different assumption. Like they were not planning on increasing close rate, but just expecting marketing to triple the number of leads. So is this a problem? How do you fix it?
100%. Like everybody does capacity planning or annual planning in a silo. Not everybody. The vast majority of companies tend to do it in a silo. And, marketing will do it in a silo, finance will do it in a silo, and then give you the top-down number. So the key is 2 things. One, when you build the model, it needs to look at not just sales, but the entire go-to-market, and it should be interconnected, right? If you change something in sales, it should impact marketing, should impact the BDR, all that type of stuff. 2, as I mentioned in this is a process, right? And this is where RevOps can really take the lead of getting all the key stakeholders in a room together. So one of the ways that we do it, we build the model, we get then heads of marketing, heads of BDR, heads of sales, heads of CS, say, this is the model. This is based on all our historical data. Oh, hey, by the way, when we start to change this here on the sales side, do you see Mr. or Mrs. Marketing Leader, how you changes things over here on the marketing side? Oh, you don't agree with this? All right, let's tweak this. But it gets everybody having a conversation. So get everybody in the room there, have a conversation. And very importantly, once you have the go-to-market team aligned, bring in finance. And this shouldn't be a combative, hey, we can't get to 2, 3, 4, 5 million at the like, it needs to be a conversation like, all right, Mr. and Mrs. Finance, like, I understand the board wants to hit us, but like, here's the bottoms up build. Tell us where we're off here. All right. Let's then have a conversation about how do we close this together, right? Because we're all in this together. And by thinking about this as a process and getting people in the room together, that helps break down some of those silos because people start to be like, all right, we're all in this together.
Awesome. And also, I guess the checkpoint during the year, they should find a moment to talk all together and review where they are at comparing to the original model together.
So we do this on a weekly basis. We're big believers. It's a meeting we call Demand Council. It's essentially a demand forecasting meeting. We do it once a week. We have all those key market leaders in there. We look at the entire funnel and some key KPIs by team, by channel. And the whole goal of the meeting is to identify two things. One, are we tracking against our assumptions and the targets we need to hit in order to hit the board number? And, in the timeline, right? Because pipeline has to show up in front of sales and all that type of stuff. And two, there are other hotspots inside of the funnel that we don't see that we need to address or things. And then what we do is say, all right, identify the hotspot we're not tracking here. These are the things we're going to go ahead and do. And in next week's meeting, we're going to report against that, right? So it allows you to make in-quarter changes to tracking against that big annual capacity plan.
Makes a lot of sense. So we are at time, but let's go 2 minutes over time. Another one that I've experienced firsthand. Any recommendation for doing capacity planning when the strategy is to expand to a new market? Like you are only SMB, you are going enterprise, and you really have no historical number to make reasonable prediction.
One of the best pieces of advice I got from an advisor a while back was Wagner. Wild ass guess, not easily refutable. So what I mean by that, right, is, all right, so we're going to go up market in the enterprise team, or we're going to expand internationally, right? You don't have the historical data. However, you can baseline it. And again, the individuals on this phone call probably understand the business better than anybody else. So the whole goal is like, I'll tell you right now, whatever assumption you have will be wrong. But the goal is to get it close enough. And then as long as you have the in-quarter tracking methodology, you can sit down and say, oh, we were way off. Let's change these things. Or, oh, we weren't that off. And we don't really need to change too many things, right? But like, make an educated guess and then track it on a regular basis to see how educated the guess was, right? And there's all sorts of things that could change it, moving forward, right? Like, look at the current macroeconomic environment. Like, we're seeing slowdowns all across things. And so things happen, but this is why you need to have a process to track your assumptions of your capacity planning in the following year.
And react quickly. Yeah, we are seeing a lot of companies that didn't get capacity planning with COVID and the crazy growth that tech experience in the last couple of years.
100%.
Cool. Rhys, thank you so much. Super insightful. Hot take. See you. Ciao.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Massimo.